things I don't want.
Mara from P5.
Keep your chariot out. What is this episode? We've derailed so much.
Oh, welcome to season 3, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Hunter and Kyle. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hiya.
I'm doing just swell. It means cattywampus. Word of the day for all of you. It means a skew or a rye.
Of course it does.
Huh.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
It's not what I'd expect from that word.
So, like, the one time I heard it, like, a teacher in middle school said it one time, and I believe he was referring to, like, a desk being out of place because it had, like, the leg that was, those desks always have, like, leg that sucks.
And the table that wobbles, yeah.
And you gotta put, like, a brick under it or something. Not a brick, that's extreme.
Just like a binder.
Yeah, I'd understand, you know, like, some paper or something, but a brick? A brick? Crazy.
So on the subject of people not understanding words in school, I had a friend who was in high school who was a grade below me, and he, in his English class, they were talking Romeo and Juliet. During their class discussion, he brought up that, like, he said Romeo screwed the pooch on something. Nobody in the class knew what the expression screwed the pooch meant, so they all just looked at him like he was wacko.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't put it past, you know, Renaissance era fellows to be doing that, because they were weird. But,
yeah.
Besides that point, how did you make it to high school and never hear that expression?
I have no idea. I mean,
I know what it means, and it's not even in English. Like, it's over here in the UK. Yeah. No one says "screwed the pooch" because that's the most Americanism I think I've ever heard. But I know what it means. I
don't say it either, but
neither do I. It's an old expression, and it sounds silly, but I still know what it means.
I prefer other expressions that sound silly,
like cattywampus.
Yeah.
So welcome back to the show, everybody.
Boulder
Dash. That's a good one, to be fair. That's a good one. I do like it.
Mollywopped.
Yeah.
Welcome to HGO, where we teach you all of your SAT vocab words.
Top grammar only, dude. We're gonna. That's
not grammar. Just words.
Season 3 rebrand.
That's what every. I couldn't even fake that. Everyone's seen my grammar. I'm awful.
It's true.
You could have sometimes vocabulary only, maybe.
My favorite part is, yes, I have absolutely terrible grammar, but my favorite part is when Kyle's like, I've had to spell check you in the comments, and I'm like, no, that's called the English spelling, Kyle. There's English spellings of words. Sometimes you've changed it. I'm like, yeah, you've just turned it into the American word. And I'm like, Kyle probably thinks I'm dumber than I am because I'm putting S's instead of Z's, or I'm putting U's in there when they're not usually there. And Kyle's like, this guy's so dumb, and I'm like, no.
I don't know. I'm pretty aware of when you using the British spellings of words. It's mostly just you forgetting apostrophes and shit. Where I'm like,
I hate apostrophes are my fucking.
Here we go.
Enemy, they are. I'm not bringing that story up. That story can die for as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my god.
Writing minor degree, go. Fix his grammar.
Fix my grammar, please. I'm terrible at apostrophes. I will never learn how to use an apostrophe, and that's okay. That's something I will take with me to the end of my life. It's not knowing how to correct.
Kyle's gonna hate the apostrophe that I forgot when I was speaking my Sifu script.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All those vocalized apostrophes.
Yeah.
Up on youtube.com/hotgamers only, by the way, if you want to go check that out.
Yeah.
But then welcome back to our gaming-related podcast where we talk about video games. I swear that is something that we do. But yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. We go live every Monday at 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services or at youtube.com/hotgamers only if you want to come and hang out with us each and every week. This week, we've got some big news that happened as soon as we stopped recording.
It happened so soon after we were done recording that Ethan had time to make a joke about it in the edit.
It's true. And do you know what the creepy thing was I specifically called out Kingdom Hearts in last week's episode before we knew about it. I was like,
oh my god.
Because we were talking about Square Enix, and I was like, they're probably going to announce this Kingdom Hearts game by the end of the year, and literally the next day, like literally less than 12 hours later, Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced. So we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. and everything that entails. New font, guys. Ooh, creepy. Twitter had a
Coming
field day
soon.
with that one. Magic in the making. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about this Bandai Namco thing that's been happening. Apparently, they're making a remake of a Nintendo game, according to Hunter. He's just told me this about 5 minutes before we were recording, when we were looking for ideas.
And Hunter's
Yeah.
the most reliable inside source.
He is. He's got
I did
Jeff
make-
Grubb beat.
I did make Metroid Dread.
He did. It's true. It's true. We're also going to talk about Hunter's been playing Alan Wake, so we'll talk about that. I finally finished Elden Ring, so I can give you all of my controversial takes on that. And if you're somehow not tuned out by that point, Kyle will then slam on Sonic Mania and we'll wrap the show up. Does that sound like a plan? That sounds like a plan.
Sounds good, dude. Let's make this the best hour ever.
Let's make it. We're gonna make it count. But no, other than that, there's not really much housekeeping. There's obviously the review for Sifu is up if you want to go and check that out. Thank you so much for supporting the Chrono Cross episode of all things. I was like, God,
I appreciate it.
no one's gonna show up for Chrono Cross. And then on audio services, apparently you guys on audio really love talking about Chrono Cross. Apparently, because way more of you showed up than usual, so we appreciate it. So yeah, and if you haven't already checked that episode out, go and check it out. It's already up. You can do that.
It was good fun.
Podcasts don't die the week after. We're not that topical, I swear. Sometimes we are, but most of the time we're not. Most of the time we're making terrible references to games that are from the PS2. So those things last a while. But yeah, okay. We've chatted enough shit. We genuinely have. We're like 6 minutes.
I don't know.
into
I
the
think we
episode.
can stall enough a little longer.
You just really don't want to talk about
Enough
Kingdom Hearts 4.
longer.
Enough longer.
God,
Good
God,
grammar.
who's terrible?
Good grammar, Kyle.
Yeah, who's terrible with grammar now, huh? Who is it?
I'm not bad at grammar. I'm just bad at speaking.
Get a load of this
I'm not
guy.
good at second read. I've just memorized a lot of words.
It's true.
We're how many episodes deep into this show, and I still don't know how to talk? Perfect.
100
At
and
least 12.
is it
At
100
least
and-
12.
I actually don't know. That's a great
We're
question.
in triple digits. It doesn't
are.
matter.
Is this the point where we stop
I think
caring?
it's 107, 108.
108, right? 108. Oh, I don't even
At
put
what
I don't even put the number in the title anymore, so I can't even use
Yeah,
that.
it's-
Damn it.
Yeah, this is 108.
108.
Okay, at what point do us uploading episodes stop being accomplishments and just becomes part of the course?
About 60 episodes ago, I'd say, to be honest. I think once we passed the first year, that's when the accomplishment stopped, because now we're just doing it.
Like,
and
I
we're
guess
like,
we're still going.
please, someone
are.
listen. Please. We have opinions on Kingdom Hearts 4, I swear. Please. Someone listen to me.
You just need to sit
I mean,
through
to
10
be fair,
minutes
in
of
this past
nothing
week, we
first.
got some people's attention.
We did. Thank you for all the subscribers, by the way, recently. Don't know
Yeah.
where you came from, but we love to
We
see it. And
appreciate
hey,
you.
if you have friends, tell them to do what you did, because that's pretty great. And it gives me a massive ego
Yeah.
boost, and that's pretty hype. Because everyone knows what I need is an even more inflated ego than I already have.
You can deflate that ego by correcting his grammar.
It's true. I hate it. I genuinely hate how terrible my grammar is. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 4. Nomura pulled a big one on us while we were sleeping. Literally while we were sleeping.
It's
Yeah. Which we
He
should have seen
announced
coming,
another
to be
mobile
honest.
game.
Missing links. Let's talk about it for half an hour.
Oh, jeez. I skipped over that part.
So did I.
See, I didn't, because you guys didn't know. You guys knew that Kingdom Hearts was 4. It was at the end. I saw some people were saying Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm like, no, they're not. That's not real. So I just sat through it going, yeah, mobile game. Yeah, mobile game. Oh, wait, no, this is Kingdom Hearts 4. Oh, God. Because I just didn't believe people. Because I saw the logo and I was like, that's like fan art. The logo's
That's bait.
wrong. That's bait. I'm not taking that for granted. So
Part
that
of me
happened.
was kind of hoping they were going to do what Black Ops 4 did with their logo.
Oh, the I.
There was a tiny part of me that hoped that was true. And then I
Oh.
didn't notice that it was a V at the end, and I'm like, oh, it's 4.
I'm
I
not
thought
gonna
they
lie.
just did 3 again.
Dude, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I honestly thought I saw the 3 before I saw that the 2 at the bottom were connected. I thought I saw 3. I'm like, 3 again? I'm like, oh wait, no, that's a 4. That's a
It
4.
also looked like a 3 in the logo to me.
Okay,
It
okay, I'm
did.
glad. I'm glad I'm not the only person, because I thought I was stupid. I also really do appreciate that Black Ops 4 reference, because it's one of the stupidest logos I've ever seen, and I love it.
It's
I
so
genuinely
dumb,
adore it.
dude.
There's part of me that was like, Black Ops Cold War is such an arbitrary, like, garbage, like, spit out of words, right? Of, like, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, like, so many words for a title. It's basically a thesis.
Why didn't they just say 5 so they could do the diagonal line?
No, because they're not going to do a diagonal line. I was hoping that it was just like, I, like, just keep going. Dude. I was hoping we were going to get to Black Ops 8 and it was just like a straight line. It just looks like someone screaming. Like, they just go.
That's the developers.
Yeah, that's basically them after having making the 8th Black Ops game. They're just done at this point. They're like, please let us make something else. So Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced. No year, no date.
Nope. Magic
so
in the making,
I thought
though.
Magic in the Making. To be fair, I like Magic in the Making because it's one of those things where it's as if it's like a Disney ride, and you know that every Disney ride, doesn't matter how hype you get for it, it's always going to end in disappointment. So I like that they're prepping me. They're getting me in the same mood that I will be for Tron at Disney World, right? Where it's like, Magic in the Making, it's coming. And then you get there, you're like, it was all right. It was fine. It sounds better than Now in Development, though. It sounds a bit more Disney-ish. I don't know if you guys noticed, it was as if,
Probably
now
not.
that Kingdom Hearts 3 was popular, they like went out of their way at the end of the Kingdom Hearts trailer to go, this is Disney, Disney owns this, we own this, it's being made by Square Enix, but we own it. It's like copyright Disney, game made by Square, they don't own it, we own it. I'm like, before this point, you just kind of just let Kingdom Hearts exist, and now you're like going, it's mine. Sora's mine.
We can make money off of this?
Weird, realistic anime-looking Sora's
They own like
mine.
everything in
You can't have it.
movies now, so their head is just really, really big at this point. They're like, now this is ours too. You can't have it.
True. Well, Kingdom Hearts 3 did make a load of money, so I'm not surprised that they're like, mine now, fully. But yeah. So let's...
I can't wait till they take it from Nomura and he makes a spite-filled avatar for Kingdom Hearts to
goes back to
Kingdom
Final
Hearts
Fantasy.
in his next game. Yeah.
Goes back, uses Kingdom Hearts as a revenge for Final Fantasy Versus 13, then uses a Final Fantasy spin-off for revenge for whatever happens in Kingdom Hearts. Just goes back. He's like, hey, poor Nomura.
It'd be really funny.
But no, so this whole segment is like what we want to see, hopes and dreams, whatever, what we think's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 4. Not like story-wise, but what we think like worlds-wise, what we think they're thinking, what we think is going on in Nomura's crazy fucking world on his wild ride, right?
We're playing a losing game at the start here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought we'd start with the most realistic thing, which I think is most likely thing to work out, right? Magic in the Making. How far do you think this game's in development? When do you think this game's coming out? Because I have a feeling
PS6.
I'm like, haha, funny, but I also hate that joke because Kingdom Hearts, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 was an exception to the rule. It was an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
The turnaround on the other one, the other two wasn't that much, and like even then, like Kingdom Hearts 3 was there was only so wide of a gap between 2 and 3 because of all the other games that didn't matter in between.
And also Kingdom Hearts 3 had such a shitty dev cycle. Same with both 3 and 7 Remake went through the same process where Square realized from a certain point, about 2 years into the development of both of them, holy shit, our proprietary engine sucks. We need to get rid and start again. And so it's like, Kingdom Hearts 3 realistically only started being made in late 2014. So it took them roughly 4 years to make Kingdom Hearts 3. That's how long it took them, which is longer than most of the other Kingdom Hearts games. But in my head, because this is where I'm thinking, roll with me on this, I could very much be wrong. But if they start, I personally believe that they probably started working on this in 2020. Probably, as Rewind round up, they probably ramped up production of Kingdom Hearts 4, right? I think they probably started before Remind, and Remind was probably a smaller team, right? But I feel like it's around then when it entered main production. My guess right now is 2024. That's my solid
I was thinking
guess.
2024.
Is
also, yeah.
Earliest January, latest December 2024. That's like my guess.
Yeah, I could see
Dude, you
it being
did
in
it. You read the
2024.
calendar.
But
No, definitely.
Like it's one of those things where 24 or 25 would both be things I could expect.
Because like that was actual gameplay. That's the thing, that was in
Yeah.
engine, whereas the first thing we saw of Kingdom Hearts 3 was like
Looked super
basically a fan
slick,
made
by the way,
trailer.
that combat did.
It
Like
did.
going back and watching all of the old Cage 3 trailers and just seeing all of the not actual gameplay at the bottom of the screen, it's just like, okay. But like this trailer was definitely in engine, and the team knows what they're doing now with Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, also
So-
people were bringing up the switch from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, and it was like,
Yeah.
that's just an update. Like it'll probably take them an extra couple of months because of that, but it's not.
Yeah, like I don't know for sure.
All their
It's
assets
not
carry
a game,
over.
but, like,
Yeah, all their assets are going to carry over. It's not good. They're not going to have to restart development like they did when they went from proprietary to Unreal 4.
Yeah.
So I do think it's interesting they're doing 5 though. That kind of means I'm expecting this to be next gen only as well, which I was not expecting, because I was expecting them, for how much they milked Kingdom Hearts on PS4, I was expecting them to at least crank one final one out onto PS4.
Is the rhythm game on there yet?
It is. They're on PS4. It was on PS4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Rhythm
was.
game came out within like 3 months of announcement. It was really quick. So, yeah. So Unreal 5 is going to be interesting, because what we saw was on Unreal 4. So that isn't even, it already looks great, and that wasn't even with any of the Unreal 5 stuff. Because, man, I get that the new Sora look is Quadratum Sora. Like, I get that they're doing like that's his look for Quadratum. When he goes over to Disney World, he'll start looking more like Sora, right? But what is your opinion?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on new Sora? I really like his outfit, by the way. I feel like it's a good middle ground between plaid and people who don't like plaid, because I really like
the plaid still doesn't do anything for
I
me.
really like. I thought it was. I thought it was.
don't.
I liked it.
I
liked
never
it.
liked
I don't
it.
mind the design. Like, at least he's not in a stupid jumpsuit or something, you know? Like, all of his designs after the first game have been pretty alright for me. So this one's
I like too.
His face was a bit weird to get for the first time I looked at it. I was like, huh.
Dude, his
It was,
feet
but
were
then
so
I got
small.
it. Yeah, but it was one of those things where it's like I got it. I was like, oh, that's what he looks like while he's in Quadratum. I assume he'll start to look more Disney-ish when we leave and eventually go to Star Wars or whatever.
I doubt he's gonna look like that when Donald and Goofy are just chilling out and like looking normal.
Yeah, but honestly, my one thing was when we first saw Kingdom Hearts 3, I remember seeing that and I'm like, wow, that isn't a real game, and it wasn't. And then when we saw the first actual trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3, I was still like, this looks early in development. Whereas this, I was surprised. I was like, this genuinely does look like the start of Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, that genuinely did look like... There was some things, like the UI looks still very much like Kingdom Hearts 3's, and I think they're going to change some of that stuff, like Sora's little profile icon in the bottom and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's probably going to change. But I was genuinely
That's how the
surprised
start
with
of
how...
Cage 3 was with its trailers. It was taking a lot of assets from Cage 2. Like the drive meter that never came back.
Yeah. And I mean, it just makes sense, right? That's like polished stuff. You probably do that near the end, especially because they probably didn't want to show the bottom HUD, because they probably didn't want to give hints or anything like that, or show Sora, because they're probably, the stuff they have is probably actual Sora that's not in Quadratum, so they probably don't want to show that off either. Currently. So that was interesting. I also do like the whole realistic Kingdom Hearts world, and then just having Sora flying through the air, grappling, hooking with his Keyblade is just kind of...
I respect it. It's fun.
It was very cool. It'll be interesting to see how much of the game is actually Quadratum, because I have a feeling that it's going to be like Olympus, where that's the first world, and then you're off again, and maybe you come back. I don't know. Bold prediction for you, Kyle, here. I think they're going to go back to Kingdom Hearts 2 logic, where you come back to worlds. I think that's going to be a thing.
I hope not. That was my least favorite part of that game.
I don't know. You had to do that in the first game too, right?
No,
you could literally just you could just keep going.
You
Was there
revisited
other
like
stuff
Traverse
to do?
Town a few times.
Right, that's what I think you're going to revisit Quadratum multiple times in the game.
I could see
don't
this
think-
being like the Hollow Bastion.
Yeah.
Cage.
The Hollow
area
Bastion, the Traverse Town, especially because they said that his apartment is this kind of hub in this world. I have a feeling that I feel like a lot of the story is going to link back to Quadratum, so I feel like we're going to come back multiple times. It's also going to be interesting having a whole Disney world that's not a whole Kingdom Hearts world that's not based on a Disney property. That's going to be really interesting. Because that just means it's going to be a very story dump world where you've got Master Ray Chase just wandering around, laughing at you, and it not being Keyblade Graveyard, which is just going to be the final 6 hours of the game. So it'll be interesting to have it not be the final 6 hours. But yeah, is there anything? I guess we should mention the one thing: the forest, right? Star Wars is basically confirmed for KH4.
Someone saw the foot of the tank or whatever. That should be fun.
How you guys feeling, Star Wars, dude? How you feeling?
Whatever they do, there's gonna be a cool boss probably. So
it's gonna be neat.
I feel it fits, right? Because it's like you've got the forces of good and evil. Star Wars is very much a light versus dark thing anyway, so you can see them shoveling it in. You know what my one dream is? Because it's Endor, right? So it's going to be
Mencken to voice Luke like he did in Lego Star Wars.
He's not going to, because
but he could.
No, because I feel like they're going to get Mark Hamill. Yeah. I feel like because Mark Hamill's already been in Kingdom Hearts. He's done Erica.
They could get Malos.
Or they could get
Xenoblade 2.
That's a close second, but I would absolutely adore. There's a part of me that would absolutely adore, because it's probably going to be based on Return of the Jedi if it's Endor, and there'd be such a honestly, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but having Luke Skywalker, as in Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, saying Donald and Goofy and interacting with them would be the greatest thing. That would turn me into a Star Wars fan. People hate The Last Jedi. Imagine hearing Luke just being like, "Thank you, Donald, Goofy."
Sora,
dude,
Donald,
if it was based
Goofy.
on The Last Jedi, it would be especially funny, because I feel
that'd be hilarious.
I feel like the older Mark Hamill gets, the more he just kind of slips into his Joker voice every now and then. So just imagining him saying that as the Joker is really funny too.
Yeah. I don't to me, Star Wars is such an interesting one, because I feel like a lot of us were expecting Star Wars in 3. There was a small part of people thinking Star Wars was going to be in 3, and I feel like if Star Wars is coming, Marvel's probably not far behind.
It would be cool to see them lean in more towards the live action properties that Disney has now.
Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, they can't do Star Wars." I'm like, I'd love to see them do Star Wars if they do it properly. If they have a fun space kind Endor. Well, if it's Endor, right, it's going to be not a space adventure, right? But if it's if it is just an alien planet kind of cool story kind of follow through that'd be super interesting. Marvel is the hard one though, because
I don't know where you'd pin that down to.
Do you know what my best guess is right now? My best Guardians of the Galaxy would be my best guess, and my reason for that is I feel like they'd want to go with a part of the Marvel universe that's slightly separate from the others. Because I feel like if you do New York, you've people are going to be like, "Where's Spider-Man? Where are the Avengers?" If you had just one hero, I feel like they'd have to be
also
they'd be chucking references
world
around.
New York.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a bit weird, right? But I mean, they're going to have World Tokyo over the other side with Quadratum, so it's but it's just, Guardians makes sense to me also because they did the Square Enix. Square Enix did a Guardians game not too long ago. That would be even creepier, to be honest. If it was the same fucking Guardians, that would be creepy, and I'd be like, no.
Oh no! What if they did the Avengers instead?
No, I don't want that. I'd rather have those Guardians. I'd rather have those Guardians.
That's what I'm saying. It's a horrible notion just entered my head 5 seconds ago, and I want it to disappear.
No, but I was like,
but no, understand Kingdom Hearts 4.
But no, because that in my head was what
a weird branching timeline.
Because they're not going to do Pirates again. But if they were gonna, because in my head I'm like, what if they want to do a Pirates world again?
Pirates.
And that's what I was thinking. Have a world Guardians would be
Treasure Planet.
Oh,
Treasure Planet would be great. Dude, I'd love
that. Would be so cool.
Underrated Disney film, Treasure Planet.
Dude,
it deserved more.
There weren't a whole lot of Disney movies that came out while I was a child that were actually super great. I was a kid when Home on the Range and Chicken Little were coming out.
Classics.
Treasure Planet, on the other hand, pretty good. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a favorite of mine when I was growing up. It was. I'd like to see it. I don't see it happening.
No, because
I mean, the question is, right, is what other worlds? Because I was like, when I said that we were going to talk about this, I was like, I'm like, picking Disney worlds, that shit's easy, bro. That shit's fucking easy. Let me just write down 10 or 12 now. And I looked at the actual list of worlds that we've already done. I'm like, we've actually got a comprehensive list here where I'm like struggling to go, what do we do? Like Star Wars, Marvel, okay, that makes sense. But we've got like another 6 worlds to fill here. And I'm like, the only one that I could think of off the top of my head is Incredibles.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because
It's finally time. Emperor's New Groove World.
oh, I'd love that, dude. I'd love that.
You still
That'd
stand
be-
by them doing Frozen 2?
Yes, I do stand by them doing
Yeah.
Frozen 2. That's one, literally the ones that Incredibles, I think they're going to do another Pixar property because they really, from the looks of it, Pixar was really, I think they enjoyed working with Pixar because Pixar was very into working on Kingdom Hearts. They like helped them with everything. They were like, yeah, we want to be a part of this. So I feel like they're going to do another. And if they're going to do another Pixar world, I feel like Incredibles is the one to do.
Incredibles would be the one that makes the most sense to me, but
For
given how-
sure.
but another dumb notion just entered my head. You know how
Oh,
Inside
God.
Out is like about emotions and stuff, and how Kingdom
Oh,
Hearts is all
God.
about the stupid heart business.
Oh, no.
You know what? I'm actually I'll double down on that because if they're doing Marvel, then would they want to do another superhero world?
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Well,
Or-
if it could be different enough, if it, like, for example, if it was
If
like
it's
the
Guardians,
of the
if it is
Galaxy,
Guardians, but would you do Guardians and Star Wars? It's one of those things where it's like, would you do Guardians and Star
Right.
Wars?
Dude, hear me out. Guardians and Star Wars, and you smush them together.
dude, that'd be.
That's why,
interesting.
like in my head, if it
And
was
you get
yeah,
meddling between the worlds.
meddling kids
Think about it.
and their dumb
You know that
dog.
thing that
What
they
if there
said
was
in
a
Kingdom
gimmick for
Hearts
each
1 that
world?
shouldn't happen.
Mm.
And then you build up a party and go beat up Xehanort again.
Like in my
If Xehanort comes back, I quit.
Or
he
beat up
won't.
Ray Chase, one or the
beat
other.
up Ray Chase, who turns out to be Xehanort. Imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
Exactly.
cry.
Exactly.
Well, no, perfect world. You see, to me, Hunter, it'd be Star Wars would be a very much like, or Guardians. You could have Guardians be very much like an alien world kind of thing, where one of them is very much you're on a world and you stay on it, and then the other
And the
one
other
is
one's,
a
like,
star
spacey.
space
Yeah.
adventure. Which I guess you can choose which one you want. Would you want to fly them? Is it the Milano that's the Guardians ship? I think it's the Milano. Or
The
fly
Space
the
Bird.
Millennium Falcon, round whichever one you want, and then have the other one be the other one. I have no clue. But then Incredibles, I feel like Incredibles is maybe Marvel isn't as much of a bet as I thought it was. Maybe they'll do Incredibles instead, and then save Marvel for next time.
Yeah, that could be possible.
Who knows? But no, I do think they'll do Frozen 2. I feel like they have to have one returning world, and I swear, I know Hades
If
is
it's
already
Olympus, I'm gonna off.
Hades is
myself.
already teased. That's the thing. I'm really hoping that's just a cutscene of them looking for him, and we don't go to Olympus again. Because I'm like, if I hear those trumpets, I'm turning my PlayStation 5 off. I will literally be like, no, I refuse.
Hang
Goodbye.
on. Can we talk about that part of the trailer where
sure.
Donald and Goofy are looking for Sora, and the literal first place they think to look is the underworld?
It's
I mean,
hell.
to be fair,
They're like,
in
they're like,
the Greek afterlife, the underworld is like all of it's presided by Hades.
true. I just like the idea of Goofy be like, "Gosh, where's Sora gone?" And Donald's like, "He's a pain in my ass. He's gone to hell. We're going. Let's go see
He's
Hades.
definitely in hell.
He's an annoying little shit. Let's go." But no, because I was like, what returning worlds? Because there's usually at least one returning world, right? And I feel like they're going to do a returning world. Frozen makes the most sense. And
does,
Frozen has the most potential to have a glow up because, God, I hate fucking Frozen 1.
Arendelle
world.
was the worst.
Arendelle was the
world in
worst world.
3
The mountain? Hell yeah.
that you had to climb like 6 times.
I love mountain.
I love Mountain. But no, I feel like
Exploring
Frozen.
the actual city of Arendelle? Nah, mountain.
Do you know what was one that I did think of, which from recent Disney popularity that I think has a fair shout? Coco. I feel like that has a real shout
Yeah.
because they love doing like the kind of those kinds of worlds where they've got something unique about them, like Nightmare Before Christmas, or
Yeah.
you know,
Where
I'm
they've
just-
got like an aesthetic, but then they just kind of make something up.
Yeah, or
the
Big
world.
Hero 6, how they just took the kind of Big Hero 6 idea and then made their own complete random story out of it. I just feel like they're going to take the idea of Fiesta de los Muertos and Coco and just have this this brand new story all around it that's in the world of Coco. And just because of how vibrant and colourful it is, I feel like that would be a really good fit. And also, I'd love to see like
That would be pretty cool.
a dead
I'd love to
Day
see
of the
Day
Dead
of the Dead
versions
Sora.
of the characters. Yeah, I feel like that'd be a really cool way to go about it. So that was one of the ones I thought of. I was thinking of other Pixar things, and I was like, I can't think of anything because Cars would be fucking horrendous. So would Finding Nemo
It'd
because
be
I hate
so
underwater
funny.
shit, dude. Like genuinely,
Yeah.
like get that out of here. And
Soul
Bugs
popped in my
Life,
head,
dude.
but it was like
Bugs
the
Life
same
would be
thing as
high. Bugs Life would be one for the OGs, dude. That'd be like
that would be
that'd
funny.
be one for the OGs. The anthill, for the colony. Like everybody's like, there's like a flying mini game on the dandelions, dude. That'd be epic. I'd love that.
Oh my god.
That'd be great. In fact, I want that. Nomura, I want that. Write that down. Delay it.
I've seen people on Twitter bring up the prospects of them using live action like decom movies.
No.
Like,
Oh god.
High
Yeah, I've
School
seen the High School
Musical.
Musical meme. That'd be funny.
No.
No.
Sweet
what
Life
I
of
thought
Zack
about
and
is-
Cody
I can
World.
I can barely tolerate the writing in this series as it is. We don't need to bring even more
Okay, but
atrocious
what if
source
it was
material.
a musical also?
Oh, I'd love it, dude. I genuinely would love it. The one thing that I saw people laughing at was, I bet
would
you
go back
Nomura's.
to the Olympus Trophy.
Could you imagine if Nomura's like hitting his head on the desk because they decided to do live action Aladdin and now they've got to deal with the whole Will Smith problem? Like, that would be pretty funny. I just came up with one for a second. I was like, I had one, but then I had to go and make a Will Smith joke. God, what was it? It was a live action
They
film.
bring back summons, and summoning Will Smith Genie is just a one-shot punch.
God, imagine. God. That was a Returning World. That was
Yo,
it.
Rocket Raccoon is a summon.
Yeah, that would be sick. That would be sick. Rocket Raccoon as a summon would be sick. If it was like one of those, like the ones where Sora like does all the spinning and he explodes, but it was just Rocket on your shoulder shooting while you do it. That'd be pretty sick, to be
That'd be
honest.
cool.
That'd be pretty sick. I'd like that. I was just thinking, Returning World, right? Hear me out. I don't want it to come back because it was my second least favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 3, Toy Story. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Verum Rex stuff was in Toy Story World. In my head, I have a feeling that Sora's going to be like, we saw Verum Rex in Toy Story Land. Let's go and ask the dinosaur if he has any intel. And then we go back. And it's based on
Also,
Toy Story
like,
4, and I
And then they
hate
meet
Toy Story
Keanu
4.
Reeves.
Oh no, not! Oh god, no!
Yeah.
It got so much worse when you said Toy Story 4.
Or
At
it's
first
based
I'm-
on or it's based on Toy Story 3, and we please be Toy Story 3. Don't be Toy Story 4, for the love of God. Please don't be. I'm begging you, Nomura. Please don't do Toy
Dude,
Story 4.
please don't.
It's
Because like
such an awful movie.
the level in it did not need to exist at all.
It's so bad. It's so
I
bad.
hate it so much.
Same. It's
I never
garbage.
saw
But like aside from the Cars movies, it's my least favorite Pixar.
I feel the
But,
same way.
What I had something right. I was saying that the Toy Story level in 3 was just like a random mall anyway, so you could do a
Yeah.
lot more with the Toy Story concept.
I think that's my
that
problem
level.
is there's so much that I loved about the Toy Story world. I loved the designs of Sora, Donald, and Goofy. They are one of my favorite world looks out of any of the Disney worlds like ever. I think the fact that they could have very much have just done the very lazy thing of just making them small, but the fact that they genuinely went out of their way to turn them into actual action figures that would actually be action figures in like real life, to the point where they went and made the action figures and sold them as part of a special edition.
Yeah.
I was like, that was great, but the mall just didn't work. It was such a terribly designed level.
I didn't like it at all as far as like the way it was designed. But like the look and feel of the world was neat, but the actual like what you had to do was kind of lame.
Yeah. But so I'm not opposed for them going back to Toy Story and making a really good level out of it, because it's not like, I feel like there's the potential to do that. I don't think there's any way where I'm like, no, it'll be bad again. I feel like they can easily do it, but just don't make it a massive mall, please.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
I like how it was just the generic mall too, and not even like Al's Toy Barn.
Why didn't they do Al's Toy Barn, dude? Why didn't they do Al's Toy Barn? That would have been so funny.
Yeah, just an entire aisle of just obnoxious Buzz Lightyears.
I literally, I'd be happy. I would really be happy for them to do Toy Story again if it just means that we get Woody dishing fucking shit again at Ray Chase this time. I mean, like, genuinely.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Like,
that was some of the best interactions in the.
It's so
that
funny.
and like the part where they threw Vanitas through all those doors in Monsters Inc. were like my favorite two interactions.
Like the thing is with the Pixar worlds is they could very easily also do more of Monsters Inc. again. I don't think they should, but they're like because I think the reason Pixar worked so well the first time around was because Pixar was very open for them doing a completely different story, with just taking the characters and doing something new, not having to follow the movies, and I think that works quite well. I also think that'd be a really good way for them to do Incredibles, because they won't have to base it on one or two. They could just basically make a new Incredible story with Sora, Donald, and Goofy. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I'm like, the Monsters Inc. world was great, but it's like, don't go back, because I don't think there's much more to explore with that, if that makes sense. Because I really liked the Monsters Inc. world. I thought the Monsters Inc. world was pretty great. It was fun. And it didn't overstay its welcome like a lot of the Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds did. Like, some of them dragged so... Like, Frozen dragged so much. Like, oh my god. Make it stop. I thought it was over like 3 times before it actually finished.
How many times do I have to get to the top of this thing?
Basically. I guess before we stop, is there anything that you don't want to see? Obviously, Kyle, you weren't the biggest fan of Kingdom Hearts 3. Is there anything that you don't want to see return? I've got a couple of things that I don't want to see return, personally.
Kairi.
No, I would like for them to actually do something with that character for once. And Melody,
I would like for them to admit that they just aren't going to. Have a funeral for the girl, for all I care. Just stop.
But do you know what Do you know what the sad thing is? Is I feel like they've got her in a place right now where they are so close to actually having a moment where they can do it. And I'm like, they're going to fuck it up. Because Melody of Memory, for those who don't know, Melody of Memory has basically set Kairi up to become Aqua's apprentice, essentially. She's going to train under Aqua, which would be a great idea because, you know, give the only actual female character in the Kingdom Hearts saga who has been given any character development, give another one over there and be like, okay, develop the character. You did it once, do it again. But it's not going to happen. You can guarantee.
The other problem here at this point is, like, even if they do start paying attention to her and have her do things, at this point, it's going to be really hard for that to feel like it's earned, because we've spent like 300 games of her being a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Again, I do feel though, new start, right? I feel like if now's the time to try. If they're going to try, do it now. Do it now and have it develop over the next 3 games or whatever. I don't care. Just try now. Because I feel with Kingdom Hearts 4, I feel like there's obviously going to be certain characters that are going to be around, right? Riku, Sora, Kairi are all going to stay. Then Terra and Aqua are also probably going to stay because of the whole Darkness mobile game bullshit. Because for those of you who don't know, Darkness actually is manifested into people, and there's 12 Darknesses or something, and one of those Darknesses is inside Ven still, so he's still relevant. So we still got to keep those fuckers around. Yeah, mobile game's great, by the way.
Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah, mobile game's
Kingdom
great.
Hearts gets explained and I just hear nouns.
Yeah, that's basically it. So they have to stay, right? But I have a feeling that it's like
I would love for Hideo Kojima and Tetsuya Nomura to just go at each other with who can come up with more made-up terms.
I think that's what they do. I genuinely do think they just play with. They're just playing off each other. They're like,
oh, Darkness? Well, have a taste of the chiral network.
Yeah, genuinely. I genuinely think Kojima's like,
son.
Kojima every time is just looking at Kingdom Hearts and going, bet. And then he writes something, and then by the time he's finished writing, he looks over to Nomura and sees what his homework is, and he realizes that Nomura's made it 30 times more complicated since he last checked, and he's like, fuck, damn it. And then he goes back to the drawing board and makes another game. And then he looks over, and then Nomura's like, what if 12 Darknesses Ray Chase, ? And he's like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Kojima's problem is that his game still somehow makes sense in the end.
I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what the, like, Why?
Why?
What if 12 Darkness is Ray Chase?
Like genuinely, like that is genuinely what's happening. Like I have no clue. The thing is, I've watched the video summary for the mobile game like 5 times. I still have no fucking clue what happened. Like, it's so arbitrarily bullshit. It's like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And it's like, is Master Masters a villain or not? Who knows? Is Ray Chaser? He's probably a villain, but you know.
Hey,
I resent that.
Villain.
Ray Chase was a good guy in Tales of Arise.
No, but the reason I'm saying Ray Chase is because Ray Chase
he was a bad guy in Tales of Berseria.
Ray Chase makes a good villain. That's why I'm saying he's a villain. Not because Ray Chase is a horrible human being. He's great. It's because he plays a really good villain. But yeah. So.
The seminal role of Mara in P5.
Things I don't want. And Kyle, I think you'll agree with this on
Mara
one
from
point.
P5.
I'm getting us back on top. Keep your chariot out of this. Keep your chariot out. What is this episode? We've derailed so much.
Dude, I like this episode.
We didn't even think we'd last 20 minutes. We're here 40 minutes in, and we somehow got.
Oh my god! We spent 6
Look,
minutes just talking about words.
We spent like 10 minutes getting to the point.
We spent about 35 getting to the point, dude. Oh, jeez.
Oh, welcome to season 3, everybody.
Things I don't want in Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's start with number
competent.
Free and competent, guys. Like flashy quick time events every 2 seconds. Yep. I don't want the roller coasters. I don't want the seesaw. I don't want Keyblade transformations. I think is a cool concept. Just don't make it happen every 2 seconds.
Just don't give them out like candy.
Yeah, they like
make them feel earned, please.
And to the same thing, I see Kingdom Hearts 2 fans are happy. I see they've brought back reaction commands. Don't treat those like arbitrary garbage like you did in actual Kingdom Hearts 2. If you're going to bring them back, make them substantial. Don't just make them, look, I mashed triangle and the nobody can't hit me. What variety, guys? What a riot.
Or don't use them as means of progressing the boss fight.
Oh, please don't. It's so arbitrary. Because then they're not reaction commands. It's just the button that you press to beat the game, to beat the boss. I hate it. Like, have them be supplementary. Don't have them be mandatory because it sucks. Like, if it's like extra things added onto the combat that just makes it cool for people that are getting experience with the system, that's awesome. Having it be this thing that you have to do every single time, that's the only way to fight the boss, sucks. Don't do that.
Yeah, like if it was just a contextual thing that you could do at a certain point, but like not required, that would be much better.
Mm-hmm. Like Cage 3 Remind had a really good example of this in the fight with Data Zigbar, where you could go into like a quick draw duel with him.
Oh, and that's hype.
It's so cool, dude. But you just like meet at the center of the arena and you go into a cutscene.
Dude, in MGS3, Ocelot did something like that. It was so neat.
I mean, we're definitely going to be seeing more of him.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
That's cool. I like Zigbar. He was neat. He has an eye patch.
Lushu, dude. What is your role, Lushu? I have fucking no clue, dude. Mobile game. Why? Why is the mobile game not the main plot? Why? Could you at least make a movie with the actual plot instead of the first 2?
Please.
Like the first.
I think Nomura really just wants to make a movie at this point. But Square's not letting him.
I'm like, honestly, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the day where we hear that Disney Plus is fucking greenlit an animation series of Kingdom Hearts, and then we're like, great, it's still gonna make 0 sense.
Can't wait.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to be an animation series of the series up to this point. It's going to be an animation series
new,
supplemental to the story.
Yeah, it's supplemental. You have to watch it to keep up with the games, dude. It's like the MCU, where it's like becomes homework. Like that's like my one thing that I hate. It's one thing that I hate about Kingdom Hearts as well. But it's like the Disney, like Marvel at the moment, the shows feel like homework. And Kingdom Hearts also feels like homework. And I'm like, why can't we just have it? Fair enough if you want to have this big branching story, but make us have one place where we can just get it and it makes sense and don't have to go to 6 YouTube channels to figure it out. Because
I like Devil May Cry's method of just having a history of thing that plays.
Yeah.
They tried that with KH3 and the videos were awful. They didn't make any sense anyway. You still can't. You could try. You could try explain it to me. You cannot give me a valid reason why Recoded need to exist. You cannot. There is nothing. Oh. Yeah.
What is happening here?
What are you?
You're getting a call.
You're getting a call, aren't it? It's Nomura. Nomura's like, what did you say about Recoded, you little shit? I'm here to explain Recoded to you.
It's Riku. They put bugs in him.
Oh my god! Like genuinely,
That was my favorite part of that game.
That movie sucks so much, dude. Like
It really did.
It's the worst thing I've ever
I
experienced
didn't
in my
even
life.
watch it.
Good.
I
Well
watched
done.
it with Sam, and he fell asleep.
Wasn't it just the plot?
I
of the
watched it with
first
my
game
friend.
again?
I watched it with my friend, and I fell asleep because I was like, I'll watch it a second time, and I was like, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. Like, it was awful. Like, honestly, really bad. But no. Was there anything else that I had on my things I don't want to see? It was mainly just the flashiness, and also try and keep the plot simple, quotation marks, where I put an asterisk on simple, and then I'll say I'll accept anything along the lines of Kingdom Hearts 2 or 1. Anything beyond that is fucking bullshit, because I feel like now's your chance to simplify it a bit, to bring it a bit back from Kingdom Hearts 3.
The Xehanort nonsense is over, as far as we know. That arc's done.
Yeah.
Just like, dial back,
I'm not
reset.
saying that you can't have these stupid plot twists and have it like be anime as fuck. I'm not saying you can't have that. I'm just saying bring it back down to a level where you can write a paragraph on Wikipedia and understand it. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind.
We don't need a 5-page essay on what a nobody is.
Yeah, I'm just like,
like Kingdom Hearts 2 was around the time it started to get stupid, but even then I would still be able to go like, Diz is actually who Ansem was or whatever.
Yeah. Just bring it back to that stage.
Like, it can be stupid, but if I could reasonably point at something that I think can happen, I can't say that it doesn't make no sense at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and my final thing that I wrote was, make the Disney worlds mean something again, or if not, don't try and pretend that they do mean something. And what I mean by that is, either go in with Kingdom Hearts 1, where you have this kind of idea of each world means something to the story, or just go all in, and if it is, Sora's stuck in the realm of whatever the fuck it's called, like unreality or whatever bollocks they've come up with.
Tokyo.
Have him, okay, because in the trailer they're like, don't expect to go to the world that you came from, right? Have him fucking keep leaving places and ending up in different places. Fair enough. Have that be the plot where, oh, oops, I'm in Star Wars. But then have a Star Wars ass Star Wars level. Don't try and pretend that it's carrying on this massive Kingdom Hearts story.
Yeah.
Have it just be Disney. Have it be Star Wars. Just let us have a lightsaber fight with Darth Vader or some shit. I don't know. Like, let us do that shit. Let me hit Ewoks with my Keyblade lightsaber. I don't care. Let me do something. Like, come on.
The Keyblade we are going to get from the Star Wars world is probably going to be pretty cool.
Let's wrap it up with this. Place your bets. Do you think it's just going to be the Keyblade hilt with a lightsaber, or do you think it's going to have the key bit engraved in the lightsaber with it? Do you think it's just going to be a straight line, or do you think it's still going to have the key part of it in the light?
I hope it's just a straight line.
I remember back when the first trailer for The Force Awakens came out, and you saw Kylo Ren with his cool lightsaber with like the guard on it.
Yeah, the cross guard.
The cross guard. Someone edited that to look like a Keyblade. That's what I want.
All I'm saying is, I really like...
I want little key teeth on all three parts of the pointy thing. Then.
If there's a Keyblade...
The main body, and then on the little cross guard, too.
If there's a Keyblade transformation, I want the Keyblade transformations for it to go from a single to it to go to the double lightsaber like Maul, and then I want the third one to be where he splits them apart and then he's got two, and then he just starts beating the shit out of them with two lightsabers.
Oh,
that's sick. What I want. Because the main Star Wars, the main character in Jedi Fallen Order, I think his name's
Cal
Kestis. Cal Kestis, that's it. Cal Kestis has the coolest lightsaber of all time because it does that. It has a single, it turns into a maul, and then he can rip the second part off and have 2 lightsabers. And I'm like, why the fuck doesn't every Jedi have that lightsaber?
I like how the arc of just the weapons that Darth Maul used is how we get the coolest things that people just do now.
That genuinely is. Like, I look at
it
that.
was like, fight you with 1. Now turns into 2, and then later in like the animated series, he was dual wielding.
I'm like, that is literally like the Hannah Montana lightsaber, dude. That is the best of both worlds. You literally get all options. It's like single lightsaber, cool. Dual Darth Maul shit, done. What's that? I can just split them in half and just start beating you with 2 lightsabers. Epic. The only way it would be better is if then another 2 lightsabers came underneath and then he had 2 Darth Maul lightsabers. It's like, wait. Then it'd be a raid. That's Jedi Fallen Order 2, dude. That is like Jedi Fallen Order 2. Yeah. I'm expecting that from Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Sora just learns how to do the laser dome from the end of 2.
From Zem.
I can't wait for them to even attempt to make Donald and Goofy look like they fit into a Star Wars world. I am just... Do you know what my genuine...
I can see Donald with the Han Solo vest now in my head.
I have a feeling that they're going to be really lame about it, and Star Wars is going to be the first Disney World, and it's going to be before Donald and Goofy have found him, and it's just going to be Sora and maybe Riku, and I feel like that would be really cringe. Because I really want to see Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker talk to Donald and Goofy. Especially, I also want to see Japanese Mark Hamill talk to Donald and Goofy as well, to be honest, because I loved that. I loved hearing Donald talk and Goofy in Japanese.
Darth Vader talk to Donald and Goofy is an amusing notion, too.
Foolish duck.
Palpatine, for that matter, as well.
Foolish duck. Like, yeah. Like, lunch. I just want him to fry Donald Duck with his light and like, turn him into some KFC, dude.
I am the Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is light, and then the light shoots from
lightning.
Honestly, like, here's the thing, right? Is I hate Twitter because I hate like Kingdom Hearts stuff in Twitter because people are so negative. Whereas I just see it as a goofy ass series, and this is like, I know that I'm gonna have a good time when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out because I'm just gonna love all this shit, whether the game's good or bad. Is regardless. I know I'm gonna have a fun time just seeing this random shit and going on the wild ride. And like I said, it's going to be funny, and I can't wait. And like I say, hopefully it won't be too far away. God, that was a really long segment.
I would love for Kingdom Hearts to just start leaning into like the wacky, like the absurdity of itself.
Oh yeah, go all in. And I mean, I feel like with Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like they very much took a half step where they were like, yeah, it's like, let it go, have Sora, Donald, and Goofy just in the background going, Lamau, we're here, like, whoa. Like, just having Goofy show up during that song and stuff like that. Oh. Like, I feel like they're getting there, but I want them to go all the way in, where...
Having Woody call Xemnas or Xehanort a loser was really good.
Yeah, exactly. I want more of that. I want even more of that. Like, genuinely.
Like, just embrace the chaotic nature of what Kingdom Hearts is.
I went back to the whole Darth Vader interacting with them thing. You remember how they pretended to kill Goofy?
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if he, like, force choked him.
I was just thinking...
like a solid minute.
I was just thinking, and you can imagine the interactions now. I don't know why Star-Lord in my head was just this there, but I can just imagine the whole Guardians world being a Kingdom Hearts, like Kingdom Hearts, like, ass feeling mission where it's a load of Kingdom Hearts story and Star-Lord's just like having a mental breakdown. He's like, there's a duck, there's a whatever the fuck Goofy is. There's these guys in cloaks that are talking about darkness. Like, am I the only person that's going fucking crazy here? Like, I just love the idea of the Marvel world being like just normal people. Like, people think the MCU's weird. Wait till they see the fucking Duck and Goofy show up, and then. Like, I'm just imagining them having a mental breakdown, just being like, what is this? But no. Keyblade transformations in the Marvel world would be pretty fucking cool as well. I'm just going to say that. Have them turn into shit, dude. Do it. I don't care. I really hope.
It wouldn't even have to, I don't feel like it would even have to necessarily be relevant to what you're doing. Just be like, even though Thor's not there, have it turn into like a hammer or something.
Yeah,
That'd be
just
cool.
make the weapon one giant Marvel reference. Turn it into Gambit's stick. That'd be hilarious.
I can already see Sora with the Iron Man gloves
It's a
on. You know what I'm
Keyblade
saying? I can already see
gauntlets,
him having
like
the yeah.
Wolverine.
Dude.
The claws, dude. Oh, that'd be dope.
Do you know what'd be
There
cool?
were claw transformations in KH3. That'd be so sick, dude.
They're not gonna do it, but it would be really cool if it tied into the Marvel Games universe. That would be pretty cool. Like Insomniac, because obviously Insomniac's building that Wolverine and Spider-Man universe. Having Yuri Lowenfall's Spider-Man would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
I know Disney's always a bit iffy with Spider-Man because they don't own the movie rights, but to me, it's like Spider-Man is, to me, the most likely candidate. It's like if they own the full rights to all the Marvel characters, right, including Spider-Man, I feel like Spider-Man would be like one of their go-tos for a Marvel world, would be having Spider-Man.
Just like an instantly recognizable character, yeah.
Yeah. And also you don't have to drag in, like, I feel like if you do Iron Man, I feel like people are going to be like, oh, you should have dragged in the Avengers. Or if it was like Cap and stuff, like, if it's Spider-Man, Spider-Man could be Spider-Man on his own.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's Spider-Man. He just does what he wants.
Yeah.
Does whatever a spider can.
I also just think it'd be incredibly funny if we went to Marvel and like we just ended up with fucking Loki or something, or just like Hawkeye or someone
That'd
that
be
people
great.
were like, no one was really like.
Thanos.
We could have been with God. We could have been with like Cap or Thor or Iron Man, and we're just left with like Hawkeye and Loki. Like that'd be funny. Like the Avengers took a day off and it's just them. Like that's all that's left. Like that'd be funny. Oh well. Anyway, God, we talked a lot about Kingdom Hearts. So let us know what you guys think about Kingdom Hearts 4.
Dude,
what
I
you're
think
expecting.
that's the episode.
No, we're talking. We promised some
Coggers.
stuff. We promised some stuff. We might leave the.
Yeah,
we
well,
might leave
fuck.
some games. We'll talk about Bandai Namco at least, and then we'll probably maybe talk about Alan Wake. We might leave our cop out Elden Ring and Sonic Mania until another episode. But we'll at least talk about the things that we did
Meanwhile, actually
prepare
finish
for.
Sonic Mania.
Yeah, right. I believe that when I see it. So okay, what was the other big piece of news then this week, Hunter?
All right, so. Oh god, I have to bring it back up because I had Cattywampus open still.
God, hope you didn't skip to this part of the show, guys. Because that's
really
a reference.
confused.
That's a reference that you won't understand.
That's a callback
That's a throwback, guys. Wow.
to like
All right,
40 minutes
so
ago.
the article I pulled up was from IGN. Billy Gibbons is the dude who wrote it.
That's his actual name.
Billy Gibbons, Given.
I love it. Billy Gibbons
Yes.
and Billy Takens. Am I right, guys? What am I? Sorry, Billy. I sorry.
Maybe Givens. I don't know.
Sorry,
I'm sorry if I'm saying your name
I
wrong,
know.
pal.
I genuinely love names like that, dude. My favorite thing is reading a journalist's name and going, that can't be a real name. That's like way too cool, or that's way too like, you know, it's like I've never heard that surname ever in my life. Like that's so specific that I feel like you were born to be a journalist, so that I read that name on an IGN article. Like I feel like that's
Joe Screbbles is another IGN guy who has a really cool last name.
sounds like Scribbles, dude. You love to see it, but no. Anyway, what did Billy say?
But anyway, it says Bandai Namco appears to be cooking up something new, and it's looking to be a remaster or remake of a 3D action game for Nintendo. First noted by a user on Reset Era.
3D action.
Yeah.
Yo.
Job listings. Unnamed game with a full HD overhaul.
What game could that be?
Yo, hear me out.
Okay.
Star Fox Adventures.
That'd be fun.
See, I'm not a Nintendo guy, so to me,
Star Fox Assault.
I only
Star
play
Fox
Star Fox.
Assault.
God, do bring it back. Bring Uncle
Oh,
Jackie
there-
back.
was
Falcon
about
3D
to-
beat 'em up.
Hey, dude, Captain Falcon in a Sifu game. Just Falcon punch people. Come on. It'd be so
That'd be pretty
cool.
funny.
The game writes itself.
Or like, I'd settle for Streets of Rage.
3D action game, dude.
I guess this is, a bunch of people are saying they hope it's like Kid Icarus Uprising, a remake for that or something.
I feel
And
like it's not now that you say that the thing specifies that it's a 3D action game. I feel like that's not a far off shout. To be honest, I think that's not a far reach, especially because Bandai has worked so closely with Sakurai in the
PAL
past.
Labs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
with Sora Limited.
And yeah,
because people
but,
love that game.
Yeah,
The 5 people that
like
played it and didn't get hand cramp really love that game.
It's like a certified cult classic.
It was.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and I'd be down to play it. I never had a 3DS, so that's one I always heard about. And
I have a 3DS and I didn't play it.
I have a 3DS and I didn't play it.
Good for you guys.
Thank you. Maybe we'll download it from the eShop before it disappears forever.
Oh yeah, when's that happening? Is that's
I don't know.
Soon.
You know,
Summer,
Atlas had a
I
massive
believe.
Atlas had a massive sale recently on all their 3DS stuff, and I was like, "That's cool. I'll go and buy some stuff then." And then it's not in Europe, so I'm just sitting here like,
Oh, no. You gotta pay full price
yeah.
for
Everyone else is like,
Why does
yeah.
Atlas hate Europe?
God, I fucking don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, genuinely. Like, why did I have to pay like 60 quid to get a copy of P4 Golden? Like, what the fuck? Like, NTSC copies are like $40, and like, here I am having to pay extra just so
You
it
can
says
just pick
PAL.
those up off the street.
Yeah, it's dumb. I really should have bought that copy when I was in America for $20 when I saw it in a GameStop. I really should have. Big regret. I ended up paying like 3 times the price. But God, yeah, Kid Icarus is probably my like biggest shout, especially because it's a remake. Because 3D action game. I mean, the only other thing is no, because there's no Zeldas that they'd remake.
Yeah,
They've already done
'Cause,
most
like,
of them.
yeah. We're also like running out of we're running out of Wii U ports, so it would make sense for them to start.
Xenoblade X.
3D.
Imagine if they chucked that at Bandai. They were like, "Yo, have fun getting this mess out of the Wii U." Salut, good luck.
You've got Elden Ring on your resume. Here you go.
I think if Monolith Soft can't figure out how to get that on the Switch, no one can.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I think it's just lost to the.
It's lost to the Wii
Especially
U.
when they brought like they brought like what was it called, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. They even ported that thing over, and that thing was just Fire Emblem Persona 4, dude. I was honestly like, I was like, oh yeah, that's like Fire Emblem and Persona. That sounds like an SMT. I'm like, that sounds sick. I might go and buy that. Then I realized that the dungeons were randomly generated like Persona 4, and I was like, haha, salut, see you later. I'm not playing that. You can't make me.
Never mind.
Never mind.
So I know that the appeal of that game was apparently it was like a crossover between Fire Emblem and SMT. but
SMT, yeah.
every time I've looked at that, it just looks like it's a SMT game.
It is an
Where's
SMT.
the Fire Emblem? Where's the Fire Emblem?
There's some
in this
Fire Emblem
crossover?
characters in it, I believe. It's an
Like
SMT
actual,
game with
like,
Fire
from
Emblem
the
characters.
games.
Yes.
I thought it was just.
Yeah.
I thought they made these characters up.
No.
Nope.
They are Fire Emblem characters
Shows
in an
what I know.
SMT game, and it's like for some reason they're pop
Why are
stars.
they
I have
modern
no
day
clue.
Tokyo.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know,
pop
I didn't
stars.
play
Dude.
it.
I don't know. I haven't played it. I would play it if the dungeons weren't randomly generated. Honestly, Persona 5, like when it's like there is some
Persona
game
5
series.
spoiled you.
There's some game series where you can get in and then you can play the old ones. And you're like, oh, this is fucking fantastic, right? It's like I feel like if you played Crash 4 and you're like, oh, I really want to play more Crash, you could go back in the Crash library and you'd be like, yes, it's more Crash. This is great. Whereas Persona,
It's more Crash, but not as much.
Yeah.
It's so much better that way.
It's
yeah.
so much smaller.
But with Persona, it's one of those things where if you got into Persona 5 and you loved it for it's actually curated dungeons and it's actual dungeon design.
Structure, yeah.
And it makes the old ones really hard to go back to. And it's like, it just sucks. It also doesn't help that they release one of those games like once every 8 years. So they all feel like really old in comparison. Like the only two that are really close to each other are 3 and 4. And even then there's massive changes because they still fucked up 3. Party control. Who? But yeah.
Womp womp.
So yeah, like, God. What action games did Nintendo even have? Like, I'm genuinely stumped because it's like Bayonetta 1 and 2 already on Switch. So they want.
Why don't you outsource that to Namco anyway?
No, well, because have you seen how long Platinum takes to make fucking video games? Bayonetta 3's been in development for 7 million years. Are there any
Can't
games?
believe that they're remaking Chibi Robo.
Oh, that'd be epic, dude. That'd be epic.
But, like,
Remaking Arms. Let's go.
remake Arms. Yeah, they did work on that.
Bandai Namco work on everything.
They really do.
But
They need a break.
Well, it's a big company,
right?
and I'm sure that not the same people
Yeah.
are doing everything there.
I've got one for you, Hunter. You ready for this?
Right.
You ready for this? You ready me to hit you with this? Nintendo saw the reaction to only Metroid Prime 1 being redone, so they have now got Bandai Namco to finish the job and do 2 and 3 as well.
I'd be down for that.
Because I still don't understand why the fuck you'd only do one of them.
Yeah, doing one, that would be so irritating.
That's so stupid. That's like them doing, oh yeah, we brought back Mass Effect 1, guys, just Mass Effect 1. We're not going to do 2 and 3 where we learn from our mistakes. We're just going to do one. Just one.
Yeah.
Like
that would be nice because like
hear me out. It's Over M, guys. They're bringing
those.
Over M back. We're doing it again.
Oh, finally.
It's what the
Yeah,
people
Metroid Pinball.
Hell yeah.
The notion that they might like move on to like since like the Wii U's library is tapped at this point for the most part.
Wally World, bring me Wally World, dude.
Yeah, so we don't ever have to play Craft.
So we don't have to play Craft World again, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but like 3D, if they do start like porting over 3DS games, I'd be down for that though. Like just in general, not so much this Namco thing, but like getting to play the Metroid 2 remake, that'd be cool. Getting to play, I don't know, maybe I'd play Fire Emblem Awakening since I skipped over getting 3 houses when that came out.
It's true because like 3D action game could genuinely mean quite a lot of things because it's very broad term, right? Because it's like you say, they could be. I highly doubt they're doing Fire Emblem, but they could be remaking a Fire Emblem game in the modern style. They could be doing anything really. You could, especially because it's Nintendo, because 3D action could very much describe all of Nintendo's IPs because there's nothing that's truly just action. Yeah. Really. So you could like. And Nintendo's a very company where like
64.
I was just thinking that, Hunter.
Of all the monstrosities to bring back,
his coconut gun
is a coconut gun. Grant Kirkhope's like, no, don't make me do the rap again. No. But no, it is a hard one. Like most of the time when you hear these leaks, you kind of have like an idea, or you hear something and you're like it's really like because I'm surprised no one's come out and flat out said it. Jeff Grubb, what are you doing? Like, just tell us what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Are you scared of Star Fox Grand Prix it again, where you make up a game that didn't ever exist? Apparently. But it's like it's weird because like when you hear rumors, you're like, okay, you either hear that a game's coming back, or you hear a studio's working on it, and you can kind of working on something, and you can kind of put 2 and 2 together, right? That's usually what it's like. But when it's just like Bandai Namco's working on a 3D action remake thing for Nintendo, you're like, that could literally be fucking anything. Like, because it's not even like Bandai Namco's particularly made a 3D action game for Nintendo in the past that they could be redoing because they support Nintendo on everything. They're a bit like Monolith in that way. So, no clue. If I was a betting man, though, I'd put it on Kid Icarus. I'd probably put it on
Pac-Man World 2.
Pac-Man World, dude. That'd be pretty epic. God, yeah, I have no clue. I'm maybe we'll find out this year.
I'll be interested to see what it is. There are a couple of directs left, and like whatever.
We've got 2 directs left. There's 3 directs in a year. We've only had 1.
I said a couple.
Yeah,
I'm accurate.
Yeah, that's true. Touche. Touche.
But yeah, like that's not gonna be like that. Should be something I could see them tossing out at either one of these directs. Like, once they've been.
You see, to me, the E3 direct's going to be interesting this year. The June direct is going to be interesting this year because I have no fucking clue what they're going to show. Because I feel like that's too early to show Zelda because Zelda's definitely going to be March 3rd, 2023.
Yeah, 6
and it's like
today,
that's obviously going to be shown in the September direct, right? That's obviously going to be shown in Days.
I can't wait for the moment in that trailer where they've got like the date reveal and it just has like 3 and then 3 again, but it's just and then the
3
3
23. Dude, that'd be
yeah.
And I can't wait to find out the title so we can just finally go, thank fuck we know what it's called. Because I'm sick of everyone calling it Breath of the Wild 2 or everybody coming up with these whimsical names. I'm just like, just give us a name. Just give us a fucking name. Just tell us what the Zelda game's called. Because I feel like this is the longest we've had to wait for a title since Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild was a long wait for the title.
Since actually knowing about the game existing, yeah, it's true.
Because like Breath of the Wild, we saw the reveal. Was it 2014 that we originally saw Breath of the Wild, or was it 13?
Oh yeah, with the scene of him riding the horse.
Yeah,
That was
I think that was
2014.
14, right? And then we got the name in 2016. This was shown in 2019, and we're still in 2022, and we have no fucking clue what the name's called. It's still unannounced sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or whatever it's
Unnamed.
unnamed sequel. That's it. It's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it's just like, God, just name it. Like, it didn't take him hard. Doesn't take him hard to do. Well, to be fair, all their other games just insert names, game series, and then an insert number. Xenoblade 3, Splatoon 3. I'm sure it took him really a
This
long
was
time
just
to make
Zelda
those.
19.
Zelda 19.
Or
Breath of the
however
Wild
many
2.
there are. Yeah. I lost track of how many Zelda games there are technically at this point, but you know.
Yeah. God. Who knows? That, like I say, though, that's going to be interesting because obviously you'll see Xenoblade again. Xenoblade will probably get its date. You'll see some other bits and pieces. But Advance Wars will probably finally get a release date again. Poor Advance Wars.
Yeah, real release date, yeah.
But it's like...
I still can't believe there's the one person who has that game. That's hilarious.
I like how Nintendo was trying their hardest to take it away from them as well. They were like, give it
were
back.
they?
Yeah. They were like, give it back.
I didn't get that follow-up. I just saw the thing about,
It's my game. Give it back. You
I guess
can't
I have
it.
this now.
You can't have it.
Well, fine, but I played it already. Take that.
Take that. It's going to be sad when that game comes out in like December and it's like 8 months after it was supposed to come out or something ridiculous. Like, that's stupid. But no.
There's still a lot of the calendar that seems to be open. They could potentially just take a bunch of slots.
You're saying that, but I'm like, do they really though? Because it's like April they have Switch Sports, right? Fair enough. That's a game breaker. Dude. That's a game breaker. It's going to sell 600 million copies, dude. It's going to be the Morbius of video games. It's going to be a gangbuster from start to finish.
First 100 on OpenCritic.
The first.
I like how you're saying April. This game was going to come out in April, even.
Yeah, but they realized that Switch Sports was too powerful.
Yeah, that's what it was.
May. I don't know if they have anything in May. To be honest, do they have anything in May? They don't. But if we go by what we're thinking, Kyle, right? June they've got that Fire Emblem game coming out. July they've got Splatoon 3 and Mario Strikers. July's probably Splatoon 3's release. It's either July or August. August is free, from what I can remember. And then September's Xenoblade, October's probably Bayonetta, November's Pokemon month, and then they've got December again. So there's not that much room, unless Nintendo's going to start doubling up.
Around.
Yeah, because they're doing that again. They're going to release 2 Pokemon games this year. 3, technically, but yeah. I think that January through March, next spring is going to be interesting because we know nothing. Sony's also really interesting right now because we have no games dated for Sony at all. And I'm just like, wow, give God of War a date for fuck's sake, dude. Like, genuinely.
Admit it's being pushed again.
It's not being pushed. It's not being pushed. It's coming out this year. Jason Schreier told me, so it must be true. He knows when games get delayed, and he's told me.
He told me.
He told me himself. But no, that's cool. Right, Hunter. We have run over, so we will quickly wrap it up with your impressions of Alan Wake, and then we will. Oh yeah, you've just forgotten. You were like, oh yeah, the one game that someone has played that we were planning on talking about this week.
Yeah. All right. So Alan Wake, for those of you who didn't know, is a game that was made by Remedy, the team behind Control, most recently, and they also did. Well, they did the campaign for that. Is that Crossfire X game out?
Yeah, and it was shit.
Okay.
It was out. It was shit, and it flopped. Is that like? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Probably not Remedy's fault.
It got Babylon's Fall scores, dude. It got Babylon's Fall scores. Let me get it up. Let me get it up. Open credit. You carry on talking while I look up the tragedy.
So.
Sorry, I got it. It's got a 42. It literally has fucking Babylon's Fall scores.
That is like the same score.
Let me have a look. Babylon's Fall has a 43. It's worse than Babylon's Fall. Although, funny enough, it's got a 42 compared to a 43, but 4% of critics recommend, whereas only 3% recommend Babylon's Fall. So it scored higher, but more critics recommend the Crossfire.
That's funny.
You take that W, Xbox fans. You take that W.
But anyway, Alan Wake, made by Remedy. For the longest time, this game was like an Xbox exclusive. Like it came out for the 360 and never like the PlayStation 3. So I never had the chance.
I'll save it. Hunter, you can carry on talking. I don't want to interrupt you.
So I never had the chance to play it until they made this remastered version that came out like last year, and I just started playing it now because I played Control and I thought it was pretty neat. And Remedy has always made games that at least pique my interest, and I've wanted to play this before and just never had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it is interesting to say the least. So they've got
I was expecting a really passionate response, right? I was expecting, and so far, it's been incredible. And so far, I've not seen why people. I don't feel the same as other people, but you're just like, it's been moderate.
Right. So it's so Alan Wake has got like this cult following.
It does
at this point. Comparing it to Control, at least I like it's. Okay, the third chapter, because this is divided up into, they call them episodes, that it actually presents itself like a TV show in a lot of ways. Like it has little end credits for each thing.
What was that show? What was that Xbox game that did that?
Are you thinking of Quantum Break?
Yes.
Because that was the other Remedy game.
Was that Remedy as well?
Yeah. So I think they went I think in Quantum Break the problem was they went harder into it actually being like straight up very close to TV. Where
Wasn't
this
it
is
a TV show at the same time where they did like a TV show and a game? I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, I think that was like half the thing and why it didn't hit with people. Alan Wake just presents itself like a TV show in the same way that anyone who's anyone out there who's ever played Asura's Wrath also did it, where it had like this end credit sequence at the end, and it was like a little recap for when you start the chapter and all that, kind of doing the Telltale thing before Telltale did it. But so the premise is Alan Wake is a writer of like thriller novels, and he's going through this really horrible bout of writer's block. But also he's entered this wacky, I don't know, Twin Peaks kind of town where he's written a story that he doesn't remember writing that is happening before his eyes. It's, if anyone's ever seen Stranger Than Fiction, it's kind of similar to that.
Sorry, I was muted, but I was like, I'm trying to figure out this weird fucking thing that's Quantum Break right now. Like, I've dug a gold mine. Because it's as if the Wikipedia is trying to pretend like the TV show doesn't exist, but I have found the IMDb page. You are not hiding this, Xbox. I am finding out this information.
But yeah, so it's an interesting one as far as like what is it? This is probably the closest thing Xbox has ever had. Like, I know that it's now on PlayStation and stuff, but it's the closest thing that you could get to like playing one of those PlayStation exclusive kind of games that they do a lot these days on another system without it being like a PlayStation first party, because it's very like story driven and the gameplay is very like in a lot of cases. The pacing of the game took a nosedive in episode 3. Like I did the first two like chapters Sunday last week when I booted up the game. I was like, cool, these are moving along chapter 1 moved along at a decent pace, so I was like, I'll do the other one. Neat. I did chapter 3. I started it on a Monday, and I was literally playing it until like Thursday.
Oh my god.
No, it's like not that I was playing like, you know, from when I got home from work to when I went to sleep or anything like that. It was like I put each night a comparable amount of time into it. I'm like, I feel like this should be done by now. I was saying that like I was saying that by the time I was I'm saying that by the time I was wrapping up playing on Tuesday. I'm like, why isn't this chapter finished? So it's got interesting concepts and the pacing is weird, and I hope it picks back up like in a meaningful way, because what is it? One of the whole things with the gameplay is like your adversaries are, this is very funny considering the Kingdom Hearts talk, like darkness is like this sentient thing in Alan Wake.
Oh my god.
That's, your adversaries are basically like possessed. No, there's substantially more than 12,
At
unfortunately.
least 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but are there 12 leaders? Think about it. Have they told
No,
you?
there's like one thing.
World and
as far
Kingdom
as
Hearts
I can
4
tell.
confirmed.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can't wait for Alan Wake.
There's
World.
one of the Ray Chases.
Oh yeah. But so they like possess. It doesn't even look like they're possessing actual people. It looks more like it's creating apparitions of people, and like you fight them with as natural. Light is the natural opposition of darkness, so you like shine a flashlight on it, and then you
Luigi's Mansion.
kind of, because then you shoot them in the face. Basically, like
Oh.
the darkness, the darkness quits shielding them after you hit them with the light, and then you just shoot them. And that was all well and good up until they started possessing objects. That is not fun at all, because you have to just sit there and like this big old like I don't know bulldozer, let's say. I'm pretty sure they threw a bulldozer at me at one point. They just chucked one of those, and I have to just slowly walk backwards while aiming the flashlight, and you're not shooting anything because it's a bulldozer. What are you going to do with bullets? And the most irritating thing is like the things, once it gets taken by the darkness or whatever, its whole being is like an active hitbox the entire time. So, like, you can dodge the attack, but then if you happen to just touch it, it's damage. And that's not fun. I don't like that at all. A lot of the encounters are really drawn out, too. At least they've started to be. So, that's not great. The one other minor gripe I have, because that's all like kind of gameplay stuff as far as it just being not very good at, or it started to get long in the tooth with the way it's making me play the game. As far as the setting, they introduced this cool town, and it's got like these vaguely supernatural things about it, but you're not really in the town for very much more than like these little beginning parts of the chapters, and you do a little bit of talking, and you get to drink in the setting a little bit, but then every chapter like chucks you into the woods.
That's not really leaning into it.
Yeah, it's just like,
that's
like,
disappointing.
Like chapter 1, he like wakes up just mystically from a car wreck when he was in a cabin like the previous screen. He just like blacked out, and so he's like trekking through the woods. Like, I see the lights of this gas station. Gotta trek over there. So you're like just walking through the woods, shooting these shadow people. No possessed objects yet, because it's the beginning of the game. Chapter 2, you're trekking through a park, like a national park or whatever. So it's more woods. It's like actual sanctioned woods. So I guess that's what they think is different about it. But that wasn't much better, because it was still very samey. And then chapter 3 was still more just trekking through. It was slightly more mountainous. And there was a coal mine towards the end. But like they have this cool setting that they aren't really utilizing, and you're just being chucked into the wilderness for the actual action parts of the game. And I feel like maybe it's because I'm coming off of my only other experience with the studio so far, aside from like the couple of hours I played of Max Payne, it was with Control. And that was really good at integrating, like, the setting was one of the coolest things about it, and you were in the thing the whole time. And this one's this weird disconnect in that regard. So I'll be interested to see, like, what the rest of the game is, and maybe I'll see why it's, like, such a... Because, like, if I played this, just going off of the first half here, if the experience doesn't, like, get better, I'd be like, it was okay.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Though I am super interested as far as, like, tonally. They're making a second one now, and that's going to, like, they're straight up going to be a horror game with that. So I'm interested to see that, because I can definitely see how this has the makings of being a horror game, even though they haven't leaned all the way into it,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right,
I'm not gonna
Ethan.
lie, I zoned out for like 90% of that because I was too busy reading about the Quantum Break fiasco, right?
Yeah. So what's the deal with that?
What'd you end up
Quantum Break
finding?
is an Xbox game from 2016, for those of you who are unaware, that tried to blend
2016. I thought that was like closer to the beginning of the generation.
It was supposed to be, but it got delayed multiple times. And it tried to blend live
Can't
action
imagine
TV
why.
with video games, right? So the idea behind it originally was, the premise was you'd play a chapter of the video game as the main character, and then you would make a decision from the antagonist point of view based on what you would play, and then the choice you made from the antagonist point of view would then change the 22-minute TV episode that you would then watch after that chapter of the video game. So it's all integrated into one. That was the original plan, and there was going to be loads of different episodes that mixed and matched. What ended up happening in the final game was there was 4 chapters with 4 22-minute episodes at the end of each of those chapters, and that's about it, really. And it was just play the game a bit, watch a TV show episode, play the game a bit, watch a TV show episode. So yeah, it was this really complex.
Persona 5.
It was that really complex thing that they were trying to integrate TV and video games together, and in the end they didn't really do it.
That's why I thought it was closer to the beginning of the generation, because that was like Xbox's push with the One was one machine, blah blah blah, and everyone was like, no, bad.
Yeah, well, in my head I thought it was a video game, but they were also making a TV show that linked. But no, they're one and the same, apparently.
It's super weird. I'd be interested to look into that, because Remedy, for all the grief that I've spoken about my experience with Alan Wake so far, Remedy is good at making things that at least are fascinating. Like, Control's premise is neat, and you got superpowers and stuff there. So, I'd be interested in looking at Quantum Break if ever given the chance, even if it does sound like a bit of a mess as far as the way it was, stitched together.
It's a weird one, but hey, now you know. The TV episodes apparently weren't that bad, but they all average at around a 7 and 7.5 on IMDb. So there you go. But apparently
Ratings for TV
it was the
shows
future,
don't
guys.
mean much to me.
Guys, remember, it's the future. Remember, Quantum Break is the future of video games or whatever, like everybody says. Maybe like Elden Ring. Am I right? Wow.
Quantum Break was a generational video game.
It was a once-in-a-generational event. You had to be there. Where were you when Quantum Break released? Where were you?
Not paying attention to Quantum Break.
Waiting for Breath of the Wild.
Because I don't even remember this game existing.
Neither did I.
It's an Xbox exclusive.
Neither did I until I remembered when he said
that'll do
TV. I was like, I swear there's an Xbox game, and he was like, yeah, it's by the same people. I'm like, wow, what a revelation.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's what a weird ride. What a weird ride. But it will be interesting because obviously Alan Wake has been this cult classic kind of thing, and the fact that they're doing another one, I'm like, is this going to be like Psychonauts in a lot of ways, where people were like, we love Psychonauts, and they're like, okay, we'll do a second one, and everyone was like, this is great, but the Psychonauts fans played Psychonauts and no one else really played Psychonauts. So is this going to be like Alan Wake, where a load of people play Alan Wake 2, like all the Alan Wake fans love and play Alan Wake 2, but everyone else just goes, shrug. I don't know.
So where I'm at, regardless of how, unless this game spits on my metaphorical grave in the next 3 chapters, I'm probably gonna play 2 regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could still get some attention either way. Also, because if you got a horror game with enough people talking about it, a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Ooh, look at that."
That's what you.
So it's how it goes. You can be the definition of mediocre in something like Five Nights at Freddy's and go viral.
How dare you? How dare you speak about our Lord and Savior? Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. How dare you?
Yeah. The angry Teddy Graham looks super scary when he jumps at the camera.
I love jump scares.
Making the Rayman raving rabbits noise. That's literally what the sound effect reminded me of. Being the creepy kid in high school was so tedious when this game came out, when Five Nights at Freddy's came out, because they're like, "Oh, you like video games? Oh, you're weird. If you played
You're
this game,
weird.
Yo, bro,
And I'd be like-
you into FNAF, bro? You into FNAF? Where are we
And
FNAFing?
for the longest time, I was like, no, I haven't looked into it. And then eventually I played it because I'm like, God, fine. And I'm like, this isn't scary. This isn't good. This isn't. Stop bothering me about this.
I can't believe you got peer pressured into playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, it was more like at a certain point I heard so much about it that I was like, okay, I wanted to have my own opinion. Because it wouldn't happen these days. I'd be like, it looks mediocre, I'm not going to play it.
Ratio.
Yeah.
But I was in high school, so...
No, I respect that you actually played it.
Yeah, open mind.
Yeah, I've played the first one, and then
Yes.
the following ones after that never
That's
looked different
fair.
enough to justify me ever paying attention to it again. It took them till, like, what, game 10 to add walking?
How dare you? How dare you? Blasphemer. How dare you? It's all good. I'll forgive you. Right. Anyway, are we done? Is that it? Is that our show? Are we good?
I think so.
Yeah.
We went for longer than we thought we would.
What an
With half
episode,
the
dude.
topics.
What an episode.
What a wild ride, dude. Wild ride. Yeah, wild ride. Anyway, links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with us. That's all cool too. Let us know what you guys think about Kingdom Hearts, Alan Wake, and what that Nintendo game is. Who knows? I still can't believe we spoke for over an hour and a half on it. That's kind of
Let us
crazy.
know what you think about FNAF.
What do you think about FNAF? Is it cringe? Is it?
Oh, I
Is
can't-
Hunter wrong?
I can't wait for this to pop off and have so many people just come at me in the comments.
Well, I mean, they were about to come at me because I was about to say, is it cringe or are you 12? Let us know in the comments.
Oh, yes.
But, you know, I
I'm
kid.
14 and
I
this is
kid.
deep.
It's okay.
It is deep, bro. It's deep. You
Five
just don't
Nights at
understand.
Freddy fans coming at me isn't a very intimidating thing. I can just flicker the lights a little bit and then run off.
Just turn off the cameras. They won't see you coming. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desk fans also scare them.
Anyway, as no comment. Right. Anyway, as always, if you don't want to keep up to date with us, that's cool too. You can go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly or subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. I kept the webcams off to see your shit. And I fucking caught you, you piece of shit. I caught you trying to play rock, paper, scissors. I saw you mute your mic. No.
Kyle didn't even react to me until after you said something either. That was the best part.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do something. Screw the spiel. You know where to find us. If you listen to this for an hour and a half, you'll probably watch it on youtube.com/HotGamersOnly or have searched for us on podcasts. Thank you. Appreciate it. Leave us a 5-star review. But, like, holy shit. Literally, the fact that he waited for a split second. And then literally, I'll show, like, video. This is what he did. He pretended to mute his mic, and then he sat there, and then he just looked, and then he just went... And I'm like, no, you're not playing rock, paper, scissors.
I did mute my mic. It actually muted.
I know.
I wasn't going to sit there and leave
the lights turned off.
It did turn off, but like honestly, like you fucking caught you red-handed. Like fucking hell. It's like when the teacher catches the kid at school that's fell asleep in the back. It's like I fucking got you. Like what the hell do you think you're doing, dude?
That was my roommate freshman year of college. He always fell asleep in class.
I was one of those people that was like, I could sleep right now, but I tried my hardest to stay up, and I did.
I always took naps in biology.
How dare you?
Yeah, during notes, because like biology, high school biology was super easy. I slept
really
through
was.
the notes and got A's on the test, and I was the teacher. It wasn't like the teacher who taught the class. There was like an assistant teacher for the kids who were a little dumber. Who would
That's a nice way of putting it. That's a nice way.
It was just kids who were dumber.
Slower, yeah.
Yeah, to be clear.
Yeah.
That was me.
Like, sorry, Kyle.
I forgive you.
But
Biology was still easy.
So there was this
I was
teacher
also
who
slow
would
too,
like.
Cal. It's all good. High five.
There was this teacher who would just like oftentimes just lean over the shoulder of those couple of kids, make sure they were doing their work or whatever. And I guess because I was friends with a kid who was friends with one of them, they just kind of like associated me with
Aw.
them. So sometimes when they would realize that my notes were blank, they would like harass me about, like, why aren't you writing anything down? I'm like, lady, I got an A on the last test. I'm gonna get an A on the next test. Leave me alone.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, there was one time in high school biology, I missed like an entire unit. I'm sorry we're delaying the end of this episode,
carry on.
Ethan.
Okay, it's fine.
But I missed like every class for an entire unit. I don't remember why, but like I just like cram studied the entire block because I had a study block before biology. Cram studied for that. I got the highest grade out of all his classes.
It was super easy. Like, it was
Honestly.
Yeah. Notes was great because like the lights would go out because we have that stupid projector board or whatever. So my hair was as long as it is now, so I just kind of like, and then
I'm gone.
yeah, and I would just like sleep. It was great.
There you go. Thanks
How
for
about you,
sleeping,
Ethan?
Drew.
How do you feel about biology?
Yeah, that's fine. I have a degree in it, who cares? Anyway, that's been our show. Thank you so much for listening / watching this train wreck this week. Who knows what we'll talk about next week?
Look, you call it a train wreck, I call it a comedy fest.
It was a very good episode. I very much like this.
This is a great
It's a good
episode, man.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back same time,
Can't
same
wait
place.
to forget about it when it gets uploaded.
Yeah. Same time, same place next week for more. Remember, we are free, and what was it? Free competent.
Competent.
That's it, free and competent. But yeah, we'll see you next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.